CD Projekt Red is teasing something new around Cyberpunk 2077 right now. Earlier today, they tweeted out this NUSA Recruitment ad as well as posted it on their website. That part will be relevant in a moment. It's an important message for NUSA citizens from President Rosalind Myers, that of course being the current president that you're saving during Phantom Liberty. It mentions how our nation is facing a cybersecurity threat that is too cowardly to publicly proclaim their beliefs. So some kind of shadowy organization that is a threat of some kind. So as a result of this, the NUSA is publicly calling for netrunners to join and fight against this threat, and it invites all of us to take a recruitment test to prove ourselves for this role. As of right now, there is no recruitment test, but this message is dated September 4th, 2025, so we'll likely get something more then. In universe, Rosalind Myers doesn't actually lead the NUSA until 2065, so this date is pretty clearly a tease for us reading it. But CDPR does love their ARGs, and this seems to be the start of something, because there's more hidden here. Shadow Moss on the FF06B5 Discord, which is a great place to keep up with all of these new discoveries, so I'll have a link to that in the description if you're interested. But Shadow Moss discovered that if you open this image in Notepad++, the very last line does read, check the recruitment link on September 4th, 4 p.m. CEST, and then it does provide a link. Although importantly, you need to save this image from the CDPR forums. The Twitter image won't work and just won't have anything listed here. There's a link to this in the description right under the like button. And if you do go to this link, it'll lead to a picture of Caesar. It looks hand-drawn in Photoshop or Paint or something like that, but seemingly in a few days, this is where you're going to have the appropriate recruitment form. Although there's even more hidden here, this Caesar image has a name, and Scorn the Great on Discord noticed that this was a Caesar cipher. These are super common. CDPR has actually used them in the past for their other ARGs, and basically it uses a fixed number to shift characters forward or backwards. So this is a -4 shift Caesar cipher, so W shifts 4 places back to S and so on for all of the other letters here. In the end, you're left with secret message, although it's not clear where that secret message actually is. Perhaps it's going to come with the recruitment form, because as of right now, that's all that's been discovered around this. And there definitely is a lot to break down and potentially even some other clues embedded with all of this. The bottom right corner of the NUSA recruitment ad has one number sign 57. Maybe that's related, maybe it's not. Nobody's found a use for it so far. The Caesar image is a weird resolution at 4841 by 4500. Is there something to that? And of course, the biggest question, what is this actually teasing? I actually think we might have just got a little help on that front during the past CDPR earnings call, because yeah, that NUSA recruitment poster is going to immediately make a lot of people think new DLC. I mean, the NUSA president was literally introduced to us in the expansion that we got for this game. Although the community manager did take to Twitter to clarify, all I can say is it's not the DLC and it's not the patch. So it clearly must be a new expansion then, right? Joking aside, while CDPR does differentiate between free DLCs and paid expansions, and they get quite literal with this in the past, I do think the DLC here is inclusive of an expansion. And honestly, it makes things a bit more obscure. Clearly this is teasing something. It looks like this will be some kind of new ARG. We're already breaking down ciphers. So maybe it's Edgerunners 2 related? Perhaps Season 2 has some kind of NUSA focus, such as with this media recording something they shouldn't around the president? But Edgerunners has their own Twitter account. That's where they've teased stuff in the past. Why would they be using the Cyberpunk 2077 account for this? A new Cyberpunk mobile game does seem inevitable. Earlier this year, CDPR mentioned a partnership with popular mobile dev Scopely. Perhaps that fits in here? Although I think a mobile game announcement will lead to a lot of frustrated fans who are thinking this is all teasing a DLC or something. And honestly, if you thought this was a DLC, I don't blame you. That was my first thought as well. Over the last few months, there have been lots of clues of something. A few months ago now, someone working at Virtuous, the studio doing all of these recent Cyberpunk 2077 updates, had a Cyberpunk 2077 DLC listing pop up on their LinkedIn. This birthday calendar they posted earlier in the year has encrypted character slots. Why? We know all of the characters, or so I thought. The Polish Judy voice actress mentioned working on a new character and alluded to her Cyberpunk jacket while doing so. And there's even a new rumor that The Witcher 3 is getting a new DLC, so why not also do that with Cyberpunk 2077? They already have a support studio making other content, why not just also make a DLC? Last week, CDPR did an investors chat on stockwatch.pl, and during this, they got quite a few questions about these 3 unannounced gaming projects they have in development right now. These are 3 secret projects that, at least based off my interpretation of this chat, still haven't been revealed, but there are projects that are actively in development. So it's not entirely clear what these are or what CDPR does have up their sleeve, but it feels plausible that at least one of these could fit in here, although honestly I'm not totally sure what we're getting a tease of. But hey, that's my take. I'd really love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What do you think? What do you make of all of this? And if you want to get subscribed, I'll definitely keep you up to date with whatever we end up getting on the 4th.